Hello and welcome to Property Mastermind podcast with Bob and Hilary. Hey, episode 78, this week talking planning property development. We figured heading into the end of the year, it's a great time to review, plan. We're going to go over the strategies that we use and we know really work that will help you progress and plan your property development journey for 2023. So let's jump into episode 78. Hello, welcome to episode 78. As I said, property development planning with Bob and Hilary. Welcome, Bob.
Yep, thanks. Great to be back.
Great to be back. Great to be back down in the podcast room. Had a bit of a podcast nightmare this morning.
Oh yeah, there's such a thing as a podcast nightmare.
Oh, I think everyone has them. They do. I think a lot of podcasts never get past 7. People give up.
I can see why.
Oh my goodness,
we're just so determined.
Oh my gosh.
What is it? 78? Did you say?
Yes, this is episode 78.
Well done, girl.
Well, so today's little drama was the jolly camera wouldn't work. So we had to find another one and the tripod doesn't. Oh gosh, if you only knew. And that you've got to try and
people don't want to know.
No, they don't.
They don't tune in to listen to our complaints.
No, they don't. It wasn't a complaint. It was actually, you know what? It was us. We work so well together. No one loses their cool. It's because technology can drive people somewhat balmy. So we did well. Anyway.
On with it. What do you got in your hand there?
Well, I've got the book. Giving away a copy.
The book.
A copy of Property... Secrets of Property Millionaires Exposed. And you might hear me say this if you listen to this all the time, and many of you have a copy of this book because we give it to all of our people. But it is a book that covers all of the property strategies, or many, probably not all of them. And it's people who in the industry who explain why they believe why they do what they do. Yeah. It is a great book, best tips. It's got so many strategies in it. So if you would like...
Some of our friends are in there.
Yes, we've got...
Bernadette there.
Bernadette Jensen.
Joe.
Yeah. And that's about all that would say as friends. I don't know the others really.
A few of the others, yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So if you'd like to win a copy of this, remember to send an email or comment favourably and you go in the draw to win one of these. Also remember to subscribe as well. If you like the podcast, subscribe and share. If you've got any friends who you think may be interested in what we have to say, we try and keep it interesting, mix it up.
Yep. Okay. Sounds good.
Yep, do it. Anyway, let's get started on planning property development. Okay, I'll
this time of year or any time of year?
Well, any time of year, but I think particularly now, Bob. Don't you?
Well, here we are in December already. Yes. I read how many days it is to Christmas today. Nearly fell off my chair.
I know. Have you been shopping?
Thinking about it. That's why I fell off my chair almost. I just realised it. Time to count down. I don't want to spend Christmas Eve shopping.
No one wants to spend Christmas Eve.
Although I have spent plenty of Christmas Eve shopping.
Oh.
Yeah, so things are... Well, moving towards the end of the year, obviously things slow down, particularly in our industry for, depends really. Builders, 3 weeks, a good 3 weeks. Other people, lawyers, look, a couple of weeks probably, 1 week, 2 weeks. A lot of our consultants just shut down, but 3 weeks is not uncommon. Pretty well lose 3 weeks.
I think one thing we can think of with the whole everyone shutting down, for some people it is a great time to take a break.
And you need it.
Yes.
Refresh. Yeah, you do. You need to...
Unplug.
Here I say it, you need to get property out of your head, maybe for a little while, and, smell the roses.
Or just, if you've got a really busy day job, it's just great to switch off. It is so good for your brain to switch off.
Yeah. And, I know, getting property out of your head temporarily, but you should also have a little bit of time to, review. How'd you go? How'd you go this year? How's it going? I know it's not quite New Year's Day when you sort of do the New Year's resolutions. I'm not talking about that. No. But how's the year been in review?
Yes, and we've already done that within this business. As you all know, we teach education and work with people, hold their hands, mentor them right through their property developments. And so we did have a big review.
Yeah, we've gone through a big review of our
processes,
our products, our mentoring program, everything, our new website coming in the new year, everything. A good review.
And for you to do that, so that was us looking at where we are, we're reviewing it and thinking, how could this be better? What could we do differently? How can we serve our people? How can we be more valuable to them so they know that we're good at what we do and they want to come and be with us?
Yeah. So from a development angle, what are you reviewing? You could think about, well, your patch, where you're looking for a deal. You chose it, but is it performing? Is it working for you? Has it changed? Because things change, markets change, areas change. Is it working? Is it time to expand your patch? Is it time to look for a second patch?
Not just that, Bob, even before patch. For some people, it's the product. As in, if you're listening to this and you haven't done a development, is it time to take the first step and take one? Because we all know, and we hear so often, people just wish they started earlier. We hear that on such... If you're listening now and you've been thinking about this for longer than 3 months, do it.
Yeah, we often get calls from people who... Well, some of the people even did our course years ago.
And did nothing.
And didn't do anything with it. And now, 3-4 years back, they're back. Got some energy. Maybe things have changed, circumstances have changed for the better. And now they're in a position where they can do something. But they're just always regretful because they think, 5 years ago, where would I be now?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, basically, you'd be millions of dollars better off.
Yes.
Had you started 5 years ago.
So if you're listening to this now and it's striking a chord, sorry, don't want to press any buttons. But it is something we
don't
do
come
here.
back in 5 years.
Yeah, no.
So.
And also the people that have had conversations with us about joining mentoring, they do the same thing. And I know this sounds like a pitch, but it's not. It's just, if you've been on the fence, the best thing you can do for yourself is make a decision.
Yeah.
Really decide that now's the time. So you may be wanting to get started, but then maybe you are started and you've been doing duplexes and you want to step that up. Maybe we talked to somebody yesterday, he's done 5 projects and he's thinking, maybe I want to step it up and do apartments now. And Bob's an ideal person to come to that sort of thing because you've just got that knowledge behind how to do the bigger stuff as well as the smaller stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe that's your review. Am I changing my strategy?
Yeah. And how about your team? Are they performing? How are they going?
I never thought of that one. That's great.
Well, I never stop looking for good team members, for good consultants. And, I know a number of good architects, planners, all those sorts of people, finance brokers. But my whole business of 40 years of development has been based on networks of people.
Yes.
You know most of them. And sometimes people come and go. Sometimes people get slack. Sometimes people get more expensive and you have to let them go. So, always looking. But how's your team performing? On time, on budget? How are they? Do you need to look for others? That might be a job for the new year. Especially
now, Bob, because there's a wee bit of a shortage and there's been such demand and we've had the slowing down and for all the reasons we're not even going to mention. But some people have managed, some consultants have managed that well and some haven't. I mean, you think of our poor... our accidental, not the good
accidental developer.
The accidental, but he's just had
he got snagged with a
terrible consultant.
Civil engineer.
Just too slow.
Dragged the chain incredibly.
And maybe in the past those people have been good, but maybe their processes aren't as good anymore. So you're right. Reviewing those people are such a good idea.
Yep. And always be on the lookout for more good consultants.
Yes. So that's time to review. But I suppose before you even look at the review, where Bob went straight to the development side of review, maybe just the other thing you could review is how do you feel about where you are right now in life? And I can't help myself being a coach, being a business coach and a life coach and all those coach words, and now a property coach. But my feeling is if you ask yourself, am I really happy with where I am and what I've done? And if you haven't, it's just, okay, what do I need to do to be happy with where I am? And I know it sounds like a wee bit of a goal-setting thing, but if we just don't take it to that level but review and think, am I there yet? Or am I on the path?
At least am I going forward, first thing,
yes.
or I just feel like I'm slipping sideways or even worse, backwards. So, for sure.
I mean, for me this year, I feel like, I've had a development that's been going slow, there's stuff going on, I've been involved in a few other things. But there's something I wished I had done on the development front, and I'm probably going to spend a bit of time on that over the Christmas break.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah.
And that's a good time to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, and clearing your head. But, I mean, if you don't have a plan, you've got no benchmark to rate how you're performing.
Exactly. And that actually is perfect, Bob, because when we talk about review and plan, the brain actually loves, if I ask you how you are today, you say, oh, I'm good. But if I say, how are you out of 10, and you have to give it a number, you can actually really fully comprehend how you are. Your good could be awesome, or your good could be not so good. So if you do that review and give things ratings out of 10, you become much more clear on how you really are about something, because we're cognitive miser theory. We're lazy. We don't like to think. That's just our brain likes to take.
Me again.
I don't know. Our brain just loves to take the shortest view, the shortest way. So to say, yeah, that's good, that's fine.
That's good, because when you rate it, you have to stop and think about it.
Yes.
It's not just like you said, how do you feel today? Oh, no, I'm good. You know, that's almost say that whether you feel good or bad. It just comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
But, you know, how is your performance in various areas? How is your team's performance in various areas?
Yes.
And that makes you think, I've got to rate it. Oh, okay, now let me think about this. Is it a 7 or an 8? Or is it a 6?
Yes. Yeah. And so when you look back, that helps with clarity around where you need improving. And that's kind of what I do with the whole goal setting thing. But
then you can sort of readjust your plan to pick up where you're coming up short.
So if you're thinking, oh, where am I at right now, or how was my year? Give my year a solid 8. You'd be quite happy with that.
Yeah, an 8 would be good.
Or even a 9 is good.
Whoa, slow down, girl.
But if you're giving it a 6, maybe there's some time that means it's just over mediocre. If we called 5 mediocre, oh God, don't go there.
No, that'd be like where you're not really making progress, probably. Wouldn't it? And then below 5 is going backwards. Ooh, no. That's not good.
Don't want to hit it below 5. So perhaps give your review a number, especially with where you are right now, because it can help with you defining and becoming clear about where you want to go.
Yeah. So I guess what we're saying is, over the break, assuming you're getting a bit of a break, because some people on full-time jobs are only getting like the public holidays. You know, they can't, and they may not actually be taking long, leave.
What day of the week is Christmas?
I think it's Sunday.
Oh,
but they'll make up for it. Normally, a Boxing Day, I think it's Monday. I think I got it right. Not sure. But
I'm sure.
I think it's a Sunday.
I
think it is.
Should we check? No.
But what I'm saying anyway is some people that are on a full-time job, and they might not be taking actual holidays, so they're only getting the public holidays off, so it's a little bit difficult. But if you are having some time off, by all means enjoy it. As I said, get your head out of property a little bit, but just have a little bit of quality time. An hour here and an hour there. That's really, I'm not saying sacrifice your holidays to do this.
No, and don't overthink. And I think that's great, Bob. Giving it a patch of time, and it's pretty easy to find an hour on holiday, isn't it?
Yeah, you should be able to. Yeah, send your partner off with the kids for an hour.
See you later. Got a bit of stuff I've got to get done.
Off to the beach, whatever. Yeah.
Say you've got to pop out and run an errand and go to a coffee shop on your own, grab a notebook.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I love notebooks and journals.
Oh, you do. You got a collection of those.
I honestly would have 25 journals.
Yeah.
Love them. So that's a great way to review, plan, and then you can think, I need to do something for next year. I really need to do something.
It's not absolutely a dead loss, the holiday season. You tend to think it is because everybody has a break, or you think everybody has a break. But if you think of it this way, let's say you're looking for a deal.
Yes.
Well, how many people are looking for a deal over the Christmas break? Let's say from, a few days, 3 or 4 days before Christmas to 3 or 4 days into the new year. That's like a 2-week block. Now, we normally think, everybody's off, which they are. Real estate agents are off and lawyers are off. And so people tend not to look for a deal. I mean, if you haven't found a deal by a week before Christmas, you generally say, look, I'll pick it up again in the new year. And that's what I think everybody does. But if you think about it this way, the competition is a lot less because everybody's off doing other things. They've switched off. And I'm not saying you go and work hard on the holidays, but I've actually picked up 2 deals during that period. And one of them was Christmas Eve, and a lot of them.
How did you pick up a deal Christmas Eve, Bob? And what was the deal?
Well, what happened? It was Christmas Eve, and everybody. I worked in a company. It was a development company, so it wasn't personally my deal, but it doesn't really matter. A deal's a deal, when you're in there. Everybody decided to head off to the pub at lunchtime, like Christmas Eve. I think it could have been a Friday, actually, and I've got a feeling it was a Friday. But so they said, oh, come on, Bob, we're off to the pub, start the Christmas celebrating. And I just felt, as much as I felt like going up there, I thought, I can go up there later. I can go up like at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. It doesn't really matter. They'll still be there, that gang. Yeah. And so I hung around, and I was just searching for some staff, and made a couple of phone calls. There's still a few agents still hadn't knocked off. And one of them said, look, something's just arrived this morning. He said, I wasn't really going to worry much about it being Christmas Eve. He said, but it could be something you're interested in. Anyway, I had the conversation, and good on this person for not going to the pub at lunchtime. This is like probably 1:30. And it was a crack. And I jumped in the car, went and had a look, and I jumped on it. And so the agent prepared a contract for, that afternoon. Contacted the owner. It was sort of all done. It wasn't signed for a couple of days, but the deal was done.
Wow.
And I went up to the pub. Got up there about 4 o'clock. And everybody sort of gave me a bit of a roast. You slacker. Where have you been and all that. And I said, well, guys, while you're up here making fools of yourself, I just picked up a deal that's going to make several $1 million.
How cool.
And, well, not personally for me, for the company I work for, but that's okay. There was some good bonuses involved in my salary package, don't worry. So,
what's interesting there, Bob, is that you said two things. One being that sort of really shine out for me. One being that you just had a feeling. So, that...
I've had those feelings.
Yeah,
really, you know what I'm going to say, but I won't say.
That feeling that something is right. Intuition is massive.
Yeah.
You just had an intuitive feeling.
Yeah. I do get quite a few of those, even though I'm a male. They say females get intuition.
No, that's not true. That's anyone. The more you dial into your intuition, the better it gets. So that's cool.
And you wouldn't believe it. The following year, I picked up a deal on Christmas Day.
What were you doing on Christmas Day working?
Yeah, I know. It was a bit weird. I went into the office just to.
Anyone listening thinking Bob might be a bit of a workaholic?
No, it wasn't that. I went in there. I went to a shop, and my office was next to the shop. It was a newsagent, and I just went in there, and there was a little food land, so where I had an office, and so I just slipped into the office. I thought, I'll ring Mum and Dad. It's a while ago. So I thought, I'll just give them a call, wish them Merry Christmas and that sort of thing. It's probably 9 o'clock in the morning. So I just went in and gave them a bit of a call. And I noticed someone had left a note on my desk from the day before. That had been somebody that I'd had a casual conversation with, but they'd phoned back. And I didn't get the call. This is Christmas Day. I probably wouldn't have picked it up till at least the day after Boxing Day, but it was there, and I thought, because I'd been trying to negotiate a site, and it had sort of died about a month before, and I'd sort of given up. But this person had phoned back, and the message was there, and I thought, oh God, it's Christmas Day, But I'm thinking, it's killing me, like not knowing what it was about, because I thought the deal was dead, and now they're phoning me, and so I phoned them. I said, look, terribly sorry to phone you on Christmas Day. I hope you don't mind, but I only got the message you left yesterday. And they said, no, that's okay. So it wasn't lunchtime Christmas, Anyway, they'd reconsidered the deal, and they said, look, there's a couple of lookers, but we liked our original conversations with you. He said a couple have got the same price. He said basically the same deal I've been offered. He said, but I just liked your approach and everything that previously. He said, well, I'd like to talk business. Anyway, I said, what are you doing today? And he said, he said, we're just having Christmas lunch at home. I said, what are you doing this afternoon?
Oh my goodness, Bob.
He said, no, nothing much. Yeah, I prepared a contract and I went over there, and he signed it on Christmas afternoon, and we had a drink together.
Oh my goodness.
We had a couple of drinks together, actually. Christmas afternoon. Signed a deal. Started off in the morning with zero, ended up at afternoon Christmas Day with a deal.
Do you know something else that you actually said a word in there that I think's really valuable? there's a couple of there's I think people listening will pull out a few things in this podcast, but you said he liked your approach, and that is part of that relationship building. It's part of how you do deals with anybody, and I think that people are not really aware of the value or the power of somebody who has it's probably professional. Knowing you, Bob, it would have been not pushy at all.
That's actually, it's funny you should say that, because I did ask him. I said, "How come you didn't go with the other offers that were pretty much the same as mine?" He said, "To be honest, he said they were just too pushy." He said, "Whereas you were, he said I knew what you're about. Like you wanted the deal, but you're also, explaining how it could all work and the benefits to him, to me. This is the other guy saying it, And he said, "Yeah, I just liked your whole manner."
I could, that would be. There you go. We didn't. This wasn't a planned conversation. That just came out, but I could just tell that would be it. But I think people really need to understand the value of that communication and of your communication style, of the approach, your professionalism, and how to make yourself lucky in that story.
Yeah.
Bob just made himself lucky yet again.
Yeah. I mean, the deal probably would have been there a few days later, I think, pretty sure. Unless he got annoyed that I didn't get back to him, but I don't think so. But just like having done a deal on Christmas Day, it just seems it's funny,
It is funny.
Because I went home and said, I think I've just done a deal. And I've got to disappear for an hour this afternoon, which I did. It was a good hour. Well, probably an hour and a half, because we cracked a bottle of champagne over at this guy's place.
That's so funny.
Yeah, he had a bottle of champagne waiting to celebrate the contract signing.
I thought of that as well. Maybe that they were excited to. Sometimes that they've made a decision, it's a bit of relief that something's happened. And it's done.
Yeah. He'd obviously reconsidered for whatever personal reasons he had, and decided on me, which was good.
So what we're saying is that you could be, buyer ready, as in be still on the lookout, knowing that a lot of people are doing nothing or resting. Or you could use that time to rest. It's a great time to review.
Yep.
It's a great time to plan. And reviewing is a lot of things. It's patch, it's people.
Team. Well,
and then on people. A personal front, it's where you are. Are you happy with that? And then the plan forward. And I think that for next year is that is the biggest one. If you're not happy with where your destination right now, or you need a change, then this is a great time of year to think, I'll kick off. It's about January 16 or something, or mid-January. I'll bounce back into my world and I'll be ready to go.
Yep. Yeah, full of energy and revitalisation and sharp focus.
Yes.
And fortunately, our kids are grown up. Otherwise, if you've got a family, you'd probably be burnt out and haggard.
Oh my goodness.
Dragging kids around everywhere. Well, we've all had our turn.
Yeah, we have had our turn. No, they come and stay and they bring extras. So
got extras, like a bunch of grandkids.
Yeah, well, we've got some moving in shortly for a short period of time.
Well,
as you do.
Kids never disappear, do they?
No, not fully.
No.
I think, Bob, just, I did a quick recap there. But what about, I'm going to ask you, your 2023 plan on the development front?
Oh, on the development front? Well, I mean, there's the education business, which we're rejigging and reviewing and making changes, so that's that part of it.
If anyone's interested in learning about our education programs, feel free to send an email and we can have organise a time to have a chat. You get to talk with Bob and I. We pretty much yarn to everybody.
Yep. On the other front, on the development front, well, pushing forward with the retirement village.
Yes.
So that's good. We'll have finished stage 1 civils and have houses arriving in April, so I'm looking forward to that.
That's pretty exciting, and I'll just interject on that one as well. If anyone's interested in investing in the retirement village, we've got 2 amazing opportunities, first mortgage and second mortgage, so flick me an email if you'd like more info, and I can send you out some info and get some very healthy returns on your cash.
Yeah, and it's a project that's on the go.
Yes.
And so I'll be cranking up the marketing team, particularly in the new year.
Oh, cool.
So they've been working. They've got sales, but now really want to ramp it up. So that's what I'll be doing on that one. Push on the sales front. Probably, start spending more money. On budget. Might even do some TV yet. And then on the other front, look, we got some plans to do some small projects with, just start conversations with some investors, some students, some people who want to get involved in doing some projects, with us or with our people close to us, our mentoring students. Yeah, so I'll be getting involved in some more smaller projects this year now that the retirement village has sort of got its own momentum. Thanks to your capital raising. How much have you raised? You must have raised 5 million or more.
Yeah,
so far.
about 5 mil.
Yeah, well done, girl. and more to go.
It's so funny when you can just say it and it's so nothing, and there'll be a lot of people listening thinking, well, it's a lot of money. It just becomes like, I don't know, strands of hair, sand. It's just a word. It doesn't really mean much, but it's fun.
It's all relative. Yeah, so, but yeah, getting into some other projects, not big ones necessarily this year, although that's always possible. But yeah, just investor-driven projects.
I want to do that too. That's part of my plan.
You've got some stuff planned for yours.
I'm going to do. I was really inspired to go down to Bernadette Jensen's She Renovates and made me think, there's a lot of women out there, and it's not just women that I'd like to work with, but I really do. I just think it'll be kind of a fun thing to just work alongside another female, and I've got a plan on where I want to do a development, I've got a.
Well, you're already doing something with somebody else at the moment, or a couple.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a
male
new.
And in one, a female in another. But what's this is different.
Yeah, I've got.
Can you let the secret out of the bag?
Not too much.
Okay.
I'm probably just going to work with another. I haven't found it yet, so if it's you and you've got some money and you want to jump in and do a deal with me, let me know.
Yeah, learn heaps doing that, working with you.
Yeah, that's my little plan on the side. I just want to do something like that as well.
Any cashed up women out there? Let Hillary know.
Yeah. But anyway, that's my 23, and of course finish my book and launch all that side of things. And yes,
plenty on. Okay,
that's my 2023.
Okay,
but we need to spend some time sitting down planning that. Bob and I will sit down, start the vision board process. We do all of that, believe it or not.
Yep, we'll be onto it.
So, people, we are we've come to the end. So, just another quick recap. Getting ready for planning property development. Really good time to review this time of year. Review everything, everyone, where you're at. Really good time to create a soft plan. It doesn't have to be the full goal set, but create a soft plan for next year. You just heard Bob and I. That was a soft plan. We haven't sit down and nailed out how that works. Really good time to have a rest if you need one, but also a really good time to stay focused because everyone else is resting.
You never know. Can happen.
Well, that is the end of episode 78.
Oh, another one. Well done. 22 to go. We'll hit the 100.
We hit the 100. And we will look forward to chatting with you next week. See you.